Yeah, it was a great result in fairness. Now, I think we carried on from last week. I think we played some great football last week, and we were probably a little unlucky to go out of the cup. But it was pleasing to carry on the performance, and we played some great football last night and thoroughly deserved the win. 1-0 probably flattered them a bit really. When you look at the game and the chances we created, it could have quite easily been 3 or 4-0. But it was, all in all, it was great just to get the 3 points and continue our away form this season has been excellent. And, another win last night there is good.
Yeah, and I suppose if you look at the coming into the last night's game, obviously on the back of the defeats to Waterford and Monaghan, probably didn't reflect the actual performances in those games. I mean, the second half performance against Waterford was very good. Against Monaghan overall, it was a fine performance. So last night, it was obviously a continuation of the form you've shown in those games, and I suppose you got your just rewards for it.
Yeah, exactly. We've been saying in recent weeks that we've been playing quite well without really getting what we deserve out of games, and sometimes that's maybe come down to a bit of naivety and a bit of inexperience, losing easy goals at crucial times in games, and also missing chances at the other end. Hasn't helped. But Tommy and all the lads have been saying, if we just keep sticking with it, that the rewards will come. And last night, like I said, we played good football and we really opened them up a lot of times in the first half and even in the second half. And the 3 points were never really in danger.
Yeah, and by all reports as well, Cillian, their keeper had a fair few saves to make. And as you mentioned earlier, if you're being picky, you probably should have scored a couple more. Is that disappointing?
Yeah, definitely disappointing. 1-0, they're always in the game, and it even showed in the last 10 minutes that we had to defend, whereas we really should have been in a comfortable position at that stage of the game, because the chances we played, with 5 or 6 decent chances, and even on the balance of play, we did a great share of possession. But it's about converting those chances, and when you don't, sometimes you can put yourselves in a bit of a sticky position. But all in all, it was just good to come away with the win.
Yeah, and one of those chances, Cillian, fell to George O'Callaghan late in the game. Now, George was left on the bench last night, I think, to the surprise of a lot of people. Was he disappointed to be left out of the team?
I'm sure he was, but George has been struggling with a hamstring injury through the week, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But everybody knows that George is a very talented player, and even when he came on last night, you could see that he made a difference when he came on. But we don't have that big a squad, and like Gareth Cambridge came in last night and he played quite well as well. So it's up to the fellas who come into the team to make sure they do a job so that they can come in next week again.
Yeah, no, just looking at the league table, Cillian, you're still in with, I suppose, an outside chance of promotion, but you're in 6th place at the moment, mid-table, and if somebody wasn't following the league and they looked at the table and saw Cork City as a mid-table team, it's probably not a fair reflection of the quality of the side. If you look back at any of your games this season, maybe apart from maybe Waterford at home and then the first home game, I assume you look at your opponents and you think, we've never been outclassed at any stage, and we're just as good as any of the teams in this league.
Yeah, exactly. We were only saying it last night after the game that we couldn't believe that we'd lost to Athlone at home and even drawn with them earlier on in the season. I suppose that's been a symptom of the season really, is that we have dropped points where we shouldn't have. For instance, like we lost to a late goal at home to Monaghan in the league. That's probably, like I say, at times it's inexperience and maybe a bit of naivety in the team. But, it's been an eventful season. I think we're getting better as the season goes on. We're definitely getting stronger. So that all augurs well for the future. Unfortunately, we've been on a good run of games, but it seems that the teams above us keep winning as well, so we haven't been able to close the gap. So that's probably why we do find ourselves in mid-table.
Yeah, now in terms of promotion, as I mentioned, Cillian, you are still in with an outside chance. I think you're 7 points outside the playoffs at the moment. Still 8 games to go. You are in the hunt, but as I mentioned to Tommy last night, there is no margin for error anymore. You have to get the results at this stage.
Yeah, it's about us going on a winning run now again. But unfortunately, like I was saying, the results over the weekend didn't go in our favour again. It seems like every time we win, the teams above us win, and it's just remained the status quo really with the league table. But we're in with a shout if we can, like I said, go on a run of 3 or 4 games. Then with 5 or 6 games to go, we might have closed the gap and given ourselves a bit of a chance.
Yeah, and if promotion doesn't happen this season, Cillian, which it may well not happen, I mean, I know the supporters won't see it as a disaster or anything, because it's an achievement in itself that the club is up and running this season and competing as well. But what would be the view in the dressing room? I mean, will it be seen as a setback by the players, and will guys still be willing to stick around for next year and to give it another shot?
Well, first of all, it would definitely be seen as a setback, because even though, you know, like you say, we're lucky that there is even a club there. Our aim for the season was to get promoted, and we probably do have the players there to get promoted, but unfortunately, you know, the way circumstances transpired with the start of the season, we're always going to be playing catch up. But as for next season, that would definitely be a realistic aim. More realistic aim is to get promoted next season, and I think the majority of the players would be willing to stick around. You know, you're always going to get the better players are always going to have offers from other clubs. But like I've always said to the players there, that, you know, Cork City is probably one of the best places to play football, even if it is in the First Division. You know, you're playing in front of Turner's Cross, probably the best stadium in the country. You know, you've got to nearly still have the biggest crowds. So it's probably still one of the best places to play football. So, you know, that in itself is an attraction. Hopefully that will keep our best players at the club.
Yeah, just very finally, Cillian, before I let you go, your next game is against Merview on Friday night at Turner's Cross. They haven't been having the best season. Obviously, they've been struggling big time, and you've had wins over them already, so I suppose no excuses there. It's a game you have to win, and a game you'll be expected to win.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game we have to win, and like you say, it's one we're expected to win. But, you know, football has a funny habit of kicking in the teeth when you least expect it, so we're not going to be complacent going into the game. You know, we're just going to be professional, be focused, and just get the 3 points and kick on from there.